Throughout human history, few can boast of having received revelations of divine mysteries. Yet for some, hearing the voice of God is a heavenly gift. These so-called ordinary men and women, not necessarily of high status, willingly choose to leave everything behind to serve the divine will. Others are merely penitents, unfortunate not to have received the divine message. They decide to take up arms for absolution, believing it the best way to atone for their sins, firmly convinced that by slaying the servants of the devil, God in His infinite mercy will grant them forgiveness. For them, it matters not if they fall in battle, pardon shall be theirs. For others, it is the complete opposite. For there exists a group that neither receives messages from the Lord, nor seeks the Eternal One's forgiveness. These faithful are seen as mad and broken. No one can claim to know with certainty why they fight. Some say it is to please God, while others assert they do so simply because they have nothing left to lose, the primary reason for their presence in the trenches. Regardless, the truth likely lies somewhere in between. Yet these groups of believers have united under a single banner, one that fights against hell with every possible sacrifice, a banner bearing wings, heads, and a wheel at its center, symbolizing their disdain for the death awaiting them in the terrible battles to come in the trenches and no man's land. This group of warriors, with unwavering determination and zeal, bears the name of the Trench Pilgrims. The history of the Trench Pilgrims is fascinating, for they are merely men and women who fight without fear against demonic armies. Most are entirely ordinary beings, blessed with no divine gifts in their struggle against evil. For these warriors, the only way to satisfy God and thank Him for His divine grace is to take up arms against infernal forces. They gather around prophets and prophetesses. Some become stigmatized, obeying only angels. Armed with swords and crosses, they enter the fray as if commanded. When all these warriors are gathered together, they form a striking force unlike any other. For each warrior traversing no man's land possesses a zeal that makes them seem like the worst nightmares of the devil's servants. In battles against the legions of evil, these warriors of God arm themselves with whatever they can find, from antique muskets to Molotov cocktails. They plunge upon the heretics in a merciless rage, guided by the visions of the prophets. Across no man's land, their assaults are suicidal, since each faithful one tries to carry as many heretics as possible in their charges. The Holy See does not recognize them, but they are not rejected by the Church either, since it blesses them before their departure for each crusade. These warriors of God have but one goal: to be as close as possible to the Lord, and to draw ever closer to their Father. They self-flagellate with an almost unprecedented zeal, leaving their bodies covered in scars. These warriors have little military training, but when they don the iron cloak of a trench pilgrim, their spirits are strengthened and their resolve becomes unshakable. They become warriors of faith, utterly free from fear. They charge into battle, undaunted, even by the most fearsome demons from the depths of hell's bulges. Those who fall in battle may discover that their mission is not yet over, for sometimes, when deemed worthy, the seventh Metachrist can raise a fallen trench pilgrim back to life as a penitent martyr. These faithful are halfway between heaven and earth, able to fight again without feeling the pain of bullets or bayonet thrusts that pierce and tear their bodies. They can continue the fight for days on end, becoming a bloody nightmare for any heretic or demon unfortunate enough to cross their path. Sometimes, when prisoners are captured, they are brought before the Trench Pilgrims for judgment. At this judgment, the Trench Pilgrims promise them forgiveness through sacrifice, whether they are captured enemies of the true faith or willful sinners. Each of them is strapped to a powerful explosive, detonated once they reach enemy lines. They rush across the battlefield with immense determination, hoping to survive the explosion and escape this terrible fate through absolution for their sins, or failing and taking with them as many followers of Lucifer as possible through their sacrifice and convictions. These prisoners are known as ecclesiastical prisoners. Although all the Trench Pilgrims fight for the same cause, there is a certain difference in perspective among some of the faithful. These differences will have the effect of creating the existence of an impressive quantity and variety of processions among the Trench Pilgrims. Among its processions, there is the path of pious vengeance, which swears oaths in the name of Saint Olga and uses flamethrowers, incendiary grenades, and explosive munitions to attack and annihilate heretics. The pilgrims of the railway follow Saint Rita of Cassia and fight with hammers, maces, and clubs, driving nails into the heads of heretics in memory of the saint they have always venerated. The Theban Legion of Rome carries the heads of heretics on its banners in memory of its patron saint, Saint Maurice. They fight with swords and other bladed weapons, competing to collect the most heretic heads as possible. The war pilgrimage of Saint Methodius follows the ancient Orthodox creed of Saint Methodius. These pilgrims are most unlike any other procession, as they reject many of the teachings and customs of other pilgrims. They consider the creation of communicants as a dangerous heresy, and, unexpectedly, condemn the use of martyrdom devices as an affront to the divine commandment forbidding suicide. Despite all this, they also adhere to other beliefs that many Trench Pilgrims consider essential to their crusade against the forces of hell. The Cavalcade of the 10th Plague is the last known procession of the Trench Pilgrims. They traditionally sacrifice lambs before battle and anoint themselves with their blood to ward off divine wrath. The pilgrims then trace sacred symbols with the sacrificial blood on their bodies, clothing, and armor, and march into battle singing hymns, believing that the lamb's blood protects them from all harm. All these processions are solemn and orderly, representing the different viewpoints within the Trench Pilgrims. Yet, even though some processions have different ways of fighting and viewing warfare, they all share one person in common for maintaining order and the smooth functioning of the troops. It is said that in each Trench Pilgrim troop, there is a castigator charged with maintaining the discipline and spiritual purity of the procession. This is a veteran of the Trench Pilgrims, assisting the prophets. Every pilgrim in the troop must submit to his authority and discipline by taking a solemn vow to abide by them, whether enforced by word or by the whip. As a sign of this duty, castigators often carry multi-strand war whips, symbols of their office and instruments of punishment. Consequently, many pilgrims view the punishments they receive as proof of their castigator's iron zeal, making them one of the most important figures among the Trench Pilgrims. In a battle against the demonic legions, the Trench Pilgrims use every means at their disposal to win in the name of God. First, they send in the ecclesiastical prisoners, beings seeking forgiveness in death or salvation. Then, their war priest, or charismatic leader, commands the troops. Next come the stigmatized nuns, holy sisters, blessed by the stigmata, and endowed with unwavering faith. These warrior nuns are the vanguard of any offensive by the holy armies. Next come the pilgrims, accompanied by the Shrine's Anchorite, who ravages the enemy lines with colossal adamantium, Catherine wheels. There are also the castigators, or executioners, whose role is to instill the fear of God in the troops. This Orthodox officer keeps the warriors on the path of righteousness and punishes transgressors. They are always protected by their unwavering faith and by the saints they venerate. The final blow often comes from the communicants, devotees who have consumed the flesh of a metachrist and drunk its blood. Fortified by this divine essence, they grow to a gigantic size and see their wounds miraculously heal. Their vision sharpens, while blessed crosses are nailed through their eyes. They fight with relentless ferocity and embody the absolute elite of the Trench Pilgrims. When all these warriors gather together, they embody the absolute power of the Trench Pilgrims. Some are among the most formidable elite warriors. Others are still just simple faithful, hardly hardened by the horrors of fighting against heretics. Yet, despite their differences, all advance under the same banner, that of faith, suffering, and the eternal war against hell and the devil. Each of the Trench Pilgrims' warriors is the living symbol of resilience in the face of pain, of zeal taken to the extreme, and of a will that nothing can break. Always, they march toward battle. Never do they yield. Never do they bend before the demons that stand in their way. And that is why God, in His infinite grace, grants them absolution and bestows His blessing upon them, so that they may continue the fight, even in the darkest hours, even when all seems lost.